This is what controls you. You look at it the first thing after you wake up and the last thing before you sleep, and almost every single moment of the day that you get in solitude. Mostly bouncing between apps like YouTube, Instagram, WhatsApp, Snap and whatnot. The average screen time of our phones is around 4.5 hours, and my question is how much of this time is actually wasted, never to be seen again, and how much of it is used being productive. Hello everyone, my name is Anuj. I'm a Final-year MBBS student at GMC Nagpur. Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't subscribed already, consider doing so. And in this video, I'll show you how you can turn this device into a productivity device which will help you a lot in your life, and it might potentially change your life completely. So yeah, as you can see, the video is divided into different segments, so feel free to skip around to every part that you want. I'll also be sharing the different apps which I use, and this video is 100% non-sponsored, so you don't have to worry about something which I don't genuinely use. I'll be only talking about the things which I genuinely ever use in my life. Part 1, motivation. As soon as you pick up your phone, the first thing that you notice is your wallpaper, your home screen as well as the lock screen. Usually whatever subject that I'm studying, so currently it is surgery, I put up a wallpaper of that subject on my home screen as well as my lock screen. This constantly reminds me that I want to complete this subject in this month or this week. This way you can use your wallpaper to motivate you during different steps of your day. Maybe you have a lot of free time and either you can choose to study or you can sit and scroll your phone. Whenever you pick up a phone, you will get reminded that okay, your target is something else, and it might happen you might just keep your phone away and start studying surgery or whatever subject that you're trying to do. What you also want to keep in mind is that while you're keeping this wallpaper, your motivation will already run for a short amount of time. After looking at a phone for like a week, you will get bored of the same wallpaper and you will not feel motivated again. So keep changing your wallpaper every 1 week and put it into something that will inspire you to be a better version of yourself. That might be a photo of your timetable, the photo of your goal, that might be AIR1, or that might be your favorite subject which you love reading or subject which you're completing right now. You can find these wallpapers online by just going to Pinterest or going to Google and searching them up. One of the sweetest things that I've ever witnessed in my YouTube journey is people putting up wallpapers of me and then sending me that photo that you are motivating me. That is generally one of the most wholesome things that anybody has ever done. Thank you so much if you are that person. Part 2, capture. So as you can see, just as I open my phone up, this is the home screen which I'm presented with. It has got 4 apps: WhatsApp, Gmail, Notes and Maps. Along with it, I've got my battery percentage shown up as well as the reminders tab which is present over there. So let me talk a little bit about why I've got these 4 specific apps on my home screen as well as other things which I just talked about. First of all, Gmail. I never ever use it for replying to emails via my phone. I always reply to emails using my laptop because I feel that I am able to write a much better email if I am writing it on my desktop, as it feels just a bit more personal. I do email sometimes from my phones, but that is during emergency situations and to people who are not so formal. Second, the Notes app. This is the most used app that I've got in my entire phone. Not Instagram, not YouTube, anything else. I spend most of my time on Notes, and the reason is this Notes app is very beautiful. I've got four or five different categories that I want you to know. So the first category is cafes to try. Whenever I go out on a ride, I encounter different cafes in Nagpur. I just made a list of them in the past 1 month, and this is now something which I'm going to visit in the next 1 or 2 months. So make sure you make this list, because most of the times when you're going to be out with your friends, you won't know where to go, and this list will actually generally help you out. So this is you being productive. Second, I've got a list of movies to try. So whenever I find a great movie on Netflix or Prime or whatever, I just write it down on my list, and whenever I get the time, I switch on the movie. So the next time I'm, let's say, having my lunch, I don't really have to think about what to watch on Netflix. I already have a list of things which are available and which I need to watch. So this is again you being productive. You can also make a list for places that you want to visit, or the collabs you want to do with different people, or let's say the commercials for different advertisements that you're going to be running on your YouTube channel. Again, Notes is so beautiful. One of the features which I really love about it is the hashtag feature. The hashtag features is one of the features which I really love about Notes. So let's say you have 3 different notes, and all of these different notes contain something about, let's say, time management, right? And you want these 3 notes to be grouped together. You just put a hashtag in each of these 3 notes, let's say hashtag time, and now these 3 notes will be grouped together under the hashtag time. So just click the hashtag time and you will see all these 3 notes listed down. Similarly, you can use this for so many different things, and I personally use it when I'm using Notes for my studies. So I'll get on this later, but in the Apple ecosystem, all the notes are synced between different devices. So whatever notes I'm taking on my iPad, I just put a hashtag study in that. All the notes which have hashtag study are grouped together. So it becomes very easy for me to sort the things when I really want to. Another thing which I've got is this reminders widget, and this is very essential because as soon as I open up my phone, I will see what are the different reminders that I've set for myself. So I have a lot of meetings to attend every single week, and all of these meetings require me to get reminded. So I usually put up like 2 or 3 reminders for each meeting because I'm very lazy and I know that I'll just tick mark the reminder and never attend the meeting in the first place. The way I set up a reminder is I just ask Siri to set up this reminder, and he makes a reminder for that. You can also set your reminders to repeat. So something like buying the groceries every single week should be your reminder. An alternative to reminders, Todoist, which I earlier used to use. Something which I never ever have on the first page of my home screen is the social media apps. Well, we can all agree that WhatsApp is a very essential part of every single school and college, so you can consider it as a sort of educational app which you need to have in order to stay in touch with your college friends, all of that. So I don't count that as a social media per se, whereas Instagram or something like Snapchat will be hardcore social media things for me. So yeah, that's what I don't have on my home screen, that is social media. So YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, all of that, I don't have it on my home screen, and I think that you shouldn't either, because these apps are going to distract you whenever you open up your phone, and you will end up wasting so much time because it is so easy to to just start an app and just do one scroll, and that one scroll will turn into a 1 hour of time which is going to be wasted completely. Part 3 is focus. So these are the apps which will help you focus onto your work, and they will prevent you from getting distracted in the first place. So whenever you are doing something essential, I hope that it's not on your phone, because your phone can be the biggest distraction ever. One of the important features that you can use right over here is something called as focus mode or Zen mode, which is present in different phones. Earlier when I used a OnePlus phone, I had this feature called as Zen mode, which basically converted your phone into a stone. So this stone was essentially useless. It was as good as a paperweight. You could not use it for set amount of time. And I used to set up Zen mode for like 2 or 3 hours every day, and I absolutely loved that part of my life, because I wasn't bothered by calls or messages or emails or whatever. My phone was essentially turned into a paperweight. Similar in the iOS system, we've got this feature called as focus, and it is similar to do not disturb, but it is much more personalized. So you can select what are all the things that you want in the focus mode to be active, as well as some things which you don't want to be active. I've said that in the focus mode, if my favorite contact contacts me for 3 times constantly, then I will get the ring 4th time. So that was not available on Zen mode, but it is now available over here. So find an app which will help you do the same. The next app is Forest. I used to use it earlier a lot, but now I don't anymore. I'll come to it in a minute. So Forest is this app in which you plant a tree, and you don't have to close the app for like 25 or 30 minutes, and I don't think you have to leave the app either. So if you leave the app or you close the app, then the tree dies, and that is represented as a dead tree over that landscape. And that essentially helps you build a habit of sitting and studying, or sitting and doing focus work for a set amount of time. And every time you do a work, a new tree is planted, and the longer amount of work you do, the bigger the tree is planted, and different trees are available over there. So you can use this initially to set up your focus and set up regularity in your studies, but as you go on later, you will feel that you don't need such apps to focus anymore. You will just feel okay, I'll sit and I don't care if there is a tree or not anymore. I will just study by my own. So yes, therefore I don't use Forest anymore. The other app which I actually use on my laptop, that is called as Big Timer. So it's essentially a full screen timer which will count down to 0, and when it gets to 0, you know that you have done some work for this amount of time. So Big Timer is something which I urge you all to try. It's not a phone app, but it is definitely a great website. You should check it out. The next thing is very simple. If you want inner peace in life, then you can set your phone to flight mode. Everything will be cut off, no internet whatsoever, unless you're on Wi-Fi, I guess, and secondly, no calls or messages from anybody. So you can do that once you want some total isolation of your mind. Lastly, the clock. Yes, the inbuilt app clock which is present in all phones. I use a stopwatch feature over there to calculate the amount of time it requires me to do a certain activity. So whenever I'm out there and I don't have my laptop with me, I could, put my phone up and start that timer and calculate what is the amount of time that I'm studying, for example in the library. That helps me keep myself focused. Those are a lot of things which I use for being focused while I'm on my phone. The next thing is socials. Yes, our phone is the most important thing in the modern day to be on social media and enjoy. So what are the different social medias I own? WhatsApp, but it's not one like we talked before. Instagram, YouTube. That's it. Those are the only 3 ones which I actually use. The things which I'll never ever use in my entire life, one is Twitter, because I don't like it, and second, Snapchat, because I've never used it and I feel like it is very, very addictive. And the same is the thing with Twitter. It is too addictive because people on Twitter are constantly hating on each other, as well as I don't personally think myself ever joining Twitter. So that's the reason why I don't use it. If I was not a content creator here on YouTube and Instagram, I would probably never even use YouTube or Instagram in the first place. But since this is sort of my job and I actually love doing it, I am actually doing it. You could say that I use my socials more for creation rather than for staying in touch. One thing which I strictly abide by whenever using socials in my phone is this thing called as no notification policy. So I won't allow even a single notification to appear from any of these platforms which I just talked about. Notifications are too distracting. They are just built to capture your attention and take you from one activity to the other. The simple thing that I also do is that I don't keep them on my home screen. Instead, I earlier made a page which was like 15th or 16th in the pages of the home screen. I used to put all the social media apps over there. So there was no easy way for me to access them. But then my brain discovered this feature that you just swipe down and you type in IRS and Instagram can be found over there. So yeah, that's completely gone. But if that feature is not present in your phone, you can definitely go ahead and put all these apps away from your main home screen in which you're going to be interacting the most. The reason is you're going to be increasing the friction for you to pick up your phone, then scroll 17 pages and go to Instagram for just watching a few cat videos. Next thing is that please be mindful of whatever different accounts you're following across different platforms, because they really influence what your life looks like. I can confidently say that if you're following me over here on YouTube, then you will definitely feel much more productive after watching any of the videos which I make, because that's the vibe that I want you guys to feel after watching the video. I want you guys to be better in your life. So that's the thing. The content that you consume is the content you will become. I hope I put that right. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please consider subscribing, because making these videos take up a ton of time, effort, energy, and subscribing in just 2 seconds would make up for all of that. Thank you. Part 5 study. This is the most important thing of all, because this is the actual real life productive you can be with the apps. So first app, as you all guessed it, yes, it's Marrow. And whenever I'm on my phone, I never ever watch a video or give a grand test or give a test or even solve a question bank. So what the hell do I do in Marrow? First of all, I use custom modules, and I make a custom module whenever I have to travel for a long distance, and I keep solving custom modules because I really like solving them, and they don't consume my question bank and they don't give me a % percentile, which will make me feel bad about my studies. Second, I read pearls whenever I'm on my clinical rounds and I don't understand a case, because most of the times all the cases which you're going to be seeing on the ward are going to be part of the pearls, because those are the clinical cases which will have findings, and hence these people are going to give you that case. So pearls is genuinely a lifesaver. I'm pretty sure pearls is a free feature of Marrow, so you can just download Marrow and use pearls. That will be awesome. Again, not sponsored, this is my personal opinion. Second, I've got this beautiful radiology app, as you can see, called MAD Radio, and this shows you the clinical photographs and CT scans of all the different disorders that we studied in a day-to-day basis. So something like insulinoma would look, so something like epidural hematoma, I can go ahead and scroll this CT scan. I could see that, okay, there is this convex structure present over the right side, so that is most likely an epidural hematoma. So this really helps out a lot. Something like ovarian teratoma could look something like this. So yeah, you can see it over here. It's pretty massive, and you can even see some parts of bone over there. So these could be teeth or something like that. Okay, I'm not going to go into details, but it's great for, you know, just quickly revising all the different CT scan findings and the science which you normally would study in radiology. If you're confused about whatever I'm saying, that's because you might not be familiar, but I am a final year med student, so I hope that clears things up. Another few study apps which I definitely use is, one of them is Anki. It's available on all the devices. It's basically a flashcard app which will help you do active recall as well as spaced repetition whenever you are on the go. So I use Anki. It was recommended to me by one of my great friends, that is Dr. Subramani. You should definitely check out his channel. The next thing is Lecturio, which is again a great app. I've got a subscription of Lecturio, so whenever I'm on it, I could, you know, give some quizzes, which are generally great. Lastly, for studies, I also used Google Docs earlier. When I was in second year, I used to make these active recall sheets for different microorganisms, because microbiology is one of the most volatile subjects that we've got in second year. So I made these active recall sheets, and whenever I was alone and I had my phone in my hand, I used to go to Google Docs and, you know, just practice some active recall, answer some questions which I earlier wrote down while reading microbiology. Next up, moving part 6 is work as well as chill. So first things first, chill. I watch a few YouTube videos myself, and secondly, I use Netflix whenever I'm on the train and it's night time and I don't feel like sleeping. I just put on my earphones and watch Netflix. That's basically all I do on my phone for chill. The other part is work. So for work, you could divide it into video making as well as photo making for Instagram, as well as for making shorts or reels on Instagram. So for video editing, my friend Mitali Sharma, again, great channel, check her out, suggested me this app called as VN, which I found it to be great, and InShots is another app which I use. And for photo making, Snapseed is the one which I've been using since way back in 2017. So yeah, that's almost all the different apps that I'm using on a day-to-day basis. And I hope that this video has made you a little bit more productive, and next time you pick up your phone, instead of wasting time, you're going to be much more productive. It can all start right now by pressing the subscribe button, because you know that I'll give you content which I feel will make you productive. Thank you so much for watching my video. Your support means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Smash the like button on your way out. It's your boy Anuj. I'll catch you in the next one.